motivation, healer, certain situations. You know how to ease my frustration. And besides the oxtails, I love you long time. I double that if you don't feed my babies a swine. And you still feel good if you done in no time. And I will go down at the top of a dime. And daddy, when they come to the guap to get, it's all love in this atmosphere.
I'll be loving you long time, Makerere and LL Cool J. Kongura, Kongura, Kongura.
Before the university started teaching courses in journalism, journalism used to be done at the Institute of Public Administration, now called Uganda Management Institute. People would get degrees here and then go for a diploma in journalism. By the beginning of 1988, the discussions were, when the draft program had been worked on, the late Dr. Francis Kidubuka, Robin Muhumza, Austin Ejiet, and myself and Timothy Wangusa worked out the first syllabus.
This is the 20th academic year of the Department of Mass Communication, because the program started in 1988. So 1988-1989 academic year was the first academic year, and so the academic year 2008-2009, which we are concluding, is the 20th academic year of the mass communication program. The program started as a unit within the Department of Literature, and eventually it evolved into a full-fledged department.
When Mass Communication Department was started as a program under the Department of Literature, we had very few students. We used to take only 18 Ugandan students and then 2 Tanzanian students. So the numbers were quite small. I remember when we walked into class, we would be able to tell who is not around.
I came on board in 1993 and was the first coordinator of the program, by then under literature, till 1998, when we had sufficient staff to request to be given autonomy, and council gave us permission to become an independent department. As first head, there were quite a number of challenges. One related to the structures of a department, because this was something new. We are starting from scratch.
People had been in the area of journalism for a long time. They were now coming back. They want to become degree holders in mass communication. We're not sure of how they would relate to our fresh entrants from secondary school. We had this pressure of training mass communication students without sufficient supply of computers. We had to train photojournalism, but we didn't have a dark room. We didn't have expertise. We didn't have cameras to train photojournalists. We wanted them to publish stories in newspapers as a mark of their own excellence. But the publication industry was still very thin. Actually, we had a big vision for mass communication as an area of study. We wanted it to develop into an institute of communication studies, going into all sorts of areas of communication. We had this vision of a time coming when even the teaching will take place across the media.
That due is too good, but after the break we shall be talking so much about poverty.
Exactly. The department right now offers courses to give people a broad background in the history of the media, in issues concerning the media, in ethics. But as the students go higher up, then are able to specialize in the print media, in broadcasting, in photojournalism, or in public relations. Then we have a postgraduate diploma in mass communication, which is meant to offer some kind of mid-career training. And then we have an MA in journalism and communication.
Mass communication remains one of the two most competitive courses or degree programs in the university. I think the only other program that is as competitive as mass communication today is law. and therefore, regardless of the increase in intake, mass communication, journalism, interest in communication remains, extremely competitive. So we actually still attract some of the top performers from high school.
The Makerere Mass Comm department has given us quite a number of good products. From some of your first classes, we actually have got some of our very good editors, and we continue to get very good products from Makerere University.
The Department of Mass Communication is one of those units which clearly is evidence that we can be innovative. I think another thing we can think about in as far as mass communication is concerned is to relate it to our core values as a university: professionalism, ethics, integrity.
In the region, the department was the first to offer training at the degree level. And like our mission, we want to maintain that lead in journalism training.
We get people from different areas, from different communication areas, for example, from advertising, from radio, and they share their experience with us.
Yeah, and I believe this course is actually really practical. There are many people who go to class, they study and it ends there. But with mass communication, you're able to come to the campus FN. If you're good at talking, broadcasting, you can do your thing here. Ivory Post, you can write, you can do everything. Photojournalism, you can go take all pictures, do whatever you want really, and it really brings out your skill.
It was a very good environment for learning because the lecturers were quite friendly, though professional. We could easily go to them and talk to them about our problems and anything we had, and they always encouraged us to go the extra mile.
It opens doors that probably any other course can't do. I mean, I've gone to very many places that I never thought visiting in my life.
I've had lecturers who have been very helpful. They've been really there for me in every single way.
Nice course, number one. In the other, I wanted to be a journalist. Yeah, so I wanted to get the practical bit of it.
Generally, it has not been all that difficult. Though there are a few exceptions, like, things to do with computers. They haven't installed the software. There is a software called JAWS that I'm supposed to use to operate the computer on my own, so they haven't installed that.
Well, when I got here, because I'm doing mass communication, I thought they would teach me how to be a DJ or teach me how to be a program something, I didn't think I would be learning about news, the professional bit of it, how to be an editor, how to be a news producer, things like that.
25 years down the road and Uganda is still grappling with the HIV virus. Leah Wanika, NTV Tonight.
Most of them are very eager to learn. Most of them are actually tying it together with the theory that they learned in class. And they're actually one of our best journalists here at NTV Uganda.
We always aim at excellence. So as much as possible, we try to keep our courses relevant. And the way we do this is at one level, employing people who are highly qualified. Most of our lecturers have a master's degree or above, and those that don't are usually in the pipeline.
I was enriched. My skills of communication were enhanced. We got skills in public relations. We did a lot of things. It was a combination of so many things, and I think those things, they are the ones that have really improved my professionalism in the Uganda Police Force.
What I appreciated most was the fact that the class was small. We were only 20 students, and so we were able to get to know each other and build some good relationships. And then I think our lecturers were also able to get to know us and our weaknesses and our strengths and deal with us accordingly.
My days at Makerere were really good because at the end of my first year, that's when I started working at Senior Film. So I did eventually major in broadcasting, and I do remember at the time it was really good to have, to go into lesson, learn about something, and then I could actually come here and put it in practice.
The training was very relevant. Yes, I had already been practicing public relations, but coming to Makerere got me to another level in terms of appreciating the profession itself, in terms of practical hands-on, because we did quite a lot of practical work at the university. And when I went back to the field, I think matters and issues became a lot easier for me.
I don't believe anyone can be a journalist. I believe you have to get the training, to get the hunch of things. And I know that the knowledge that I got from the department helped me a lot to find my feet where I'm working. And I'm still using that knowledge up till now.
Ebisolo ebimu ebitundibwa bibeera birwadde ne bitwalibwa eggulu, Arua, Teso n'ebitundu by'eggwanga ebirala. Awo nno abakugu bava ne bagamba nti kyekiviirako endwadde z'ebisolo okusaasaana. Ku lwa NTV Akawungezi, ndi omusambaganyi Abubeka Muwonge, Kotido Karamoja.
I would advise people to make friends with their lecturers, but to maintain professional relationships with them. Also to read hard books in the department, to discuss with their friends, and also to pray and to believe in themselves that they can make it and they will make it.
I would advise the young people who are still at university or any other colleges pursuing public relations as a career to read and read wide, because unless you are widely informed in a number of subjects, you can't put the profession and practice.
When you're at campus, we waste a lot of time. We like to lounge, and I've been with friends who have done that, and you don't listen, you don't take your lecture seriously. You think, but I think it's very important. Everyone has to take their education very, very seriously.
And from the first day that you step in the university, commence your career development. And this means that beyond attending the lectures, you should be able to go out in the field there. Get yourself attached to the newspaper, to the radio station, to the TV station. Start contributing. See yourself as a journalist from day number one.
They should take their work seriously. They should take classes seriously. We have so many opportunities here. I'm the managing editor of the Ivory Post, our online newspaper. And students have an opportunity to write for this paper, to market themselves. They can go to the radio. It's good that they engage themselves in everything that's happening in the faculty.
They should only be social. We are students like them. It's only that for us we do have, some disabilities here and there, which can also come at any time to any of them.
If you've had the opportunity to be blessed by such a course, then it's only right that you love it, so that you can actually go out there and make a positive difference.
I would urge them to keep the torch and the name of the department high. Most of our students have done very well where they've been.
The major problem we have is that the people that we have trained in mass communication, the people who have got masters and the PhDs, are also marketable out there. So we find it very difficult to retain them on the ground.
We've had to rely heavily on part-timers, who I must say have done a lot to support the department up to this day when we are 20 years old. But the staffing problem still remains.
We need to give the students more role models of journalists who have made it. We need to emphasize the fact that journalism as a profession is key in building any democracy, and a young democracy like Uganda. It's a service to our communities and to our countries, and we need to get them on board. We need to make them love journalism.
There is a bit of work to be done in terms of how we report for television. I know the newspapers have tried. There are certain weaknesses, but when it comes to TV, I think we need, the universities here, including Makerere, need to work a bit harder just in terms of preparing people to do TV journalism.
That is always a challenge, certainly when you have a program that is primarily consisting of courses that are very practical. News editing, television production, radio production, some of the courses we have in public relations production, strategic communication production. These are very highly practical courses. And, journalism, as you could imagine, is a capital-intensive enterprise.
We now have to think, how does the department contribute to our being innovative? Because in a competitive world, you cannot do things as you've always done them. Everybody knows the traditional way of doing things. So by saying that Makerere is talking about innovations, we again go back to the issue of how will this department contribute to innovations.
10, 20 years ago, we used to think about a journalist in a traditional sense. We used to think about training a journalist for newspapers or for broadcasting, but today we no longer look at it that way. We are looking at a more holistic package of training, because today the reality is that no journalist is going to be competitive if they go out there with just a limited set of skills.
We'll need to focus on the language issues, because if you don't master the language, there is no way you can communicate. Even if it was a local language, like we have the local language newspapers and stations, you still have to master the language before you're able to communicate. And I think Makerere University and maybe all the other mass comm institutions will have to think of how to introduce language studies in their degree courses.
Our responsibility as Makerere University, our responsibility as the Department of Mass Communication is to always review our curricula to ensure that emerging issues are integrated so that the graduates we bring out are actually relevant to the community.
Right now, we are revising our curriculum to bring it to a point where it is more relevant and updated. And one of the things we are targeting is our previous curriculum focused on the mainstream media and didn't have much to offer in terms of addressing other types of media that have emerged or that have always been there, like community media.
We'd like to form some sort of partnership where we know that if we come to Makerere, for example, we'd like to be getting the people we employ from Makerere University, from the Department of Mass Communication, so that we don't have to go through the rigorous process of advertising for jobs. If we get, for example, the top of the class.
The department has survived and thrived on the basis of partnerships that we have cultivated over the years. For instance, the major media houses, the New Vision, the Monitor, have been very supportive, for instance, in recognizing excellence for our students, and that has given them the opportunity to extend what they learn in the classroom into the field. Organizations like Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA, the Danish International Development Agency, DANIDA, the American Embassy, UNDP, UNESCO has been very involved in our program. MS Uganda has also been very supportive. Frederick Ebert Foundation as well. So we've built these sorts of partnerships that have supported a number of programs in the department, including research and outreach activities.
At a time when the media industry, in fact, is being flooded by so many players, Makerere has a duty to ensure that the nation as such has core values which can ensure that even as we develop, even as we move on, we remain with integrity. And I do believe that mass communication indeed, as a department, has contributed a lot to this.
This is not only an achievement that we feel we've done, but we've also been recognized at the continent. UNESCO has recognized the department as one of the centers of excellency in journalism training.
Well, that's it for the show today. The Stand You Hit Select on 88.2 Stand You FM. Join me again on Monday at 5 p.m. on The Drive Show.